Hey guys, so today we're in Phnom Penh, capital of Cambodia, and we're gonna have a bit of a look around. In front of us now is the National Museum of Cambodia. It's a pretty cool looking building. And then we have the Royal Palace, and in the distance you might not be able to quite make it out, but there's a little bit of construction back there. But behind the Royal Palace is a temple where a famous man named Pol Pot studied in his youth. And then, as you can see over here, we have the confluence of three rivers. The Basak River, which comes in from this side, and the Tonle Sap River, which comes in this way from the great lake in the center of Cambodia, which is called the Tonle Sap. And then just out in the distance on the left there, you see coming in, that's the Mekong River, one of the greatest, most famous rivers in the world. So Phnom Penh's at a really strategic location. And down there is the park in front of the Royal Palace, and there's the riverside promenade just along there, which is very, very popular in the early mornings and in the evenings and the nighttime. All right, so let's take a little stroll around. So if you get tired feet and legs and so on after your walk, there are plenty of places where they can do a special therapeutic massage to help relieve your tensions and your pain. So that's something I've noticed. There's more of those places since I was here last time. Last time I was in Phnom Penh was about 6 years ago. And they were just starting to build the second tall building in the city at that time. Now it looks like they've got about 100 of them. So it's amazing really how much has changed. Prices seem to have gone up, at least in the tourist areas. So this is the National Museum we saw a short time ago. Samala driver here. But there's more street food around than there used to be. Some of the little restaurants along here in the main riverside tourist area have a reasonable price. But of course there's actual street food vendors, like the one back on the corner there, are cheaper. That's how the locals eat. And yeah, if you go to those places outside of the tourist area, then the price is going to be cheaper again, of course. So massage places popping up everywhere these days. And there seem to be more homeless people and more people asking for money than there was before COVID times. So it's a bit sad, really. It's gone backwards in terms of that kind of stuff, because it was improving, you know. The first time I came here was 12 years ago, and yeah, and I've come here many times, and it was improving slowly. But this is the back entrance to a temple that was a really cute temple, but they're doing a lot of construction here at the moment, which is really sad. And they seem to be keeping this gate shut now. It used to be open, and it was a kind of cool little kind of insider shortcut to get onto this street, which is pretty much like the main kind of backpacker street in the area. And I used to stay in a guest house run by an old lady. She seemed to run it alone with just a few cleaners on this street. All right, there you go. Next singing sensation coming up soon on your radios. So anyway, I used to stay in this place. This was really cool, but now it's been bought by other people and turned into a kind of mainstream hostel type place. Hello, how are you? Okay, rain is starting up again. Let's just head under here a bit. It's a few little bars along the way here. Hello, rain is coming, raining again. Alrighty. Some cool places. Hello. Alright. So you can see there's a bit of nightlife on this street here as well. As well as some restaurants that have a pretty good price, and basically all the stuff travelers need. There are still some cheap guest houses around in the area, but sadly the one I used to like has closed up. And as I was saying, like the one back there that I mentioned where I used to stay, it was run by an old woman and she was really lovely. She told me the story about her family in the Khmer Rouge times when everyone was forced to leave Phnom Penh. And she said they had to walk all the way out to the countryside near the coast and work through all those years farming. But she was very positive about it. She said they were lucky because they could actually be in a place where the land was pretty good for farming, so they had enough food to eat, unlike most people in the country in those times. All right. So there's a little bit of rain. It's drizzling a little bit. Not sure how far we're going to make it along here. We might have to stop again in a second. Let's see what we can do. Well, I noticed when I rolled into town and I tried to find the old guest house, and I was a bit confused actually because it had been changed into a hostel. It looks quite different now. It was definitely old school style last time I came through this way. But yeah, once I realized, I talked to someone who looks like they've been around a bit and ended up finding another pretty decent place. Anyway, when I was looking around, yeah, I noticed there are a lot more people in Phnom Penh these days from other places that didn't pretty much come here in numbers before. So a lot more Arabian or kind of Arab type people, Indian people, some Africans and so on. So the demographics definitely changed a bit. When I first came here 11 years ago, it was mostly people from Europe and a few from America and so on. So from that side of it, it's a bit different. Definitely you can feel like the gap between rich and poor has really grown now. When you fly in and you see about 100 tall buildings, and then 12 years ago there were no tall buildings at all. But you see the homeless numbers and the number of beggars and so on has basically gone back to what it used to be 12 years ago. Yeah, you have to think, wow. It's a bit sad, as I said earlier, but okay, we're gonna get across here. Just watching out for any dubious types who might want to try to snatch my camera or my bag as I wander along. Bag snatching has been an issue in Phnom Penh for years and years. Even in daytime it can happen, but if you're a kind of healthy looking dude like myself, it's probably very unlikely, but you never know, so it's good to keep your eyes open always. But it's nice to be back. There are plenty of friendly people around. So you could see a green bus went past there. We're coming up on the main boulevard of Phnom Penh, and unlike a lot of the cities in the region, Phnom Penh has a pretty good street layout due to the fact that it was a lot of it was designed by the French. So that's why you see there's this big avenue here which wraps around the outside of the old town area. So that definitely helps a lot, and they've got a pretty decent bus system that's yeah, with these modern little buses with aircon, very clean, very cheap, and I think they normally come at least every half hour, but it depends on traffic. I think in the busiest time the buses along this stretch are supposed to come every 10 minutes. But yeah, like I said, depends on traffic, of course. Well, the rain's picking up quite a bit now. Well, it's so lovely. I was just coming in to get out of the rain for a minute, and they invited me in to have some food here, and so just had a nice meal with these lovely people here, and I definitely want to recommend a little restaurant here. Well, that was absolutely fantastic. Had a nice little meal for free there. Very kind people. All right. I wasn't planning on that, but actually that did me good, I can say. And of course, that's one of the best things, probably the best thing really about traveling, is the people you can meet along the way. And they really make it special. Bit of old French architecture along here. Is it the old colonial French architecture? You see, I remember my high school French very well, indeed. Or maybe that's just an accent from old British comedy programs. Ah, okay, whatever. Close enough, close enough. Anyway, down the boulevard here we have the fantastic central market of Phnom Penh, built by the French in the classic French UFO style. You remember that, right? I don't know if that's in any of the books, but it kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Pretty bizarre. I guess it's a kind of art deco type construction. All right, let's get across here. No one wants to run you over when you're filming them. Would be worth just holding a fake camera, wouldn't it, when you walk around? It's like a gold ticket to kind of go anywhere without hassle. So the central market is obviously on the must-see list for Phnom Penh. Obviously it has some tourist stuff, but plenty of locals use it obviously too, because it's in the center of the old part of the city. you. Oh, beautiful. That's good. So there are 4 branches, 4 side parts to the market. And this fantastic clock in the middle. So that people know when it's time to go home and cook dinner and so on. And you can see there's some outside parts in between the 4 arms. Let's head down the side of one of the arms there. If you're looking for something to remember your trip to Cambodia, obviously it's a great place to find something. Or some kind of little gifts for friends back home. But there are a number of other markets in the city that are more neighborhood, local style. This one is really about the fantastic architecture, but it's very handy, of course, if you want to grab something. Oh, bit of a mess there. A nice old French villa there. It's a boulevard I think that I came in on from the airport. So as you can see, there's a bit of French colonial architecture around still, but not a lot from the older stuff, but definitely a lot of 1960s and 70s kind of shop house type style buildings. And that's the majority of the buildings in this old part of the city. All right, we're back out on the main avenue, Praia Norodom Boulevard. Okay, let's head on down. Let's see if we can squeeze in between this bus and this SUV. It's not always a good idea, but it worked out this time. Would not be a good ending, would it, to my story? Squashed between a bus and an SUV, but okay. I have a lot of experience with navigating such situations, so I like to try my luck.